Okay, hi there and welcome in my next video. Um, this video will be way more different than the previous ones, and I will explain you why. And the main reason is that I had some serious problem and troubles with the code because there were some quite tricky mistakes and yeah, it pretty much screwed up and I quite lost myself in the code. Um, and then I realized that the way I have written it was a little bit well bad, and it might be done in different way. So I pretty much did few changes. So those changes are not yet on the video. I will just tell them now, and I must say that those are really major changes, and they are really huge and serious. So instead of explaining you every single change and so on, I decided to go through the entire code of the Mortal Kombat game briefly, just from the beginning, but really briefly, so you might really understand it. Because what I want is not really to let you, well, compile some code and make the game as well, but really to understand the idea of it. I know it's not really maybe the best way to make this game, but I'm really enjoying it, and so on. Yes. Well, one more thing, the reason why I didn't make videos while making this game and making the changes was that I really wasn't sure that the changes will work. And also, when I'm making a video and talking, my concentration is divided, and when I'm writing such quite complicated and tricky applications such as a Mortal Kombat game, it's quite a problem. So, yes. As well, this video will not be really all about the code and the code stuff, but it will be more about the presentation of the application because I made some amazing changes. I'm really happy about it and I want to share it with you. So first I will tell you some, well, the code, how it works, what are the changes, and yeah, to let you understand it. And then I will go ahead and explain some some problems I had and how I just solved it, because I think it's quite interesting. And then the last part will be the presentation of the application. It is not done yet, not at all, but you will just see how it looks, because in previous videos I was talking only about the code, doing the code, and you saw just some stinky animations. Nothing was pretty much working. So now let's go through the code. So where to begin? I will begin at the user input because this is where it pretty much begins for the animation. So we will move ourselves to keyboard, which is in combos. You see that well, sorry, I will begin from the animations because it might be better really. So you remember when we had here animator and animator controller. The basic idea of it was that animator controller controlled all the animations. It had a list of animations here, and it looped through the animations and it drawed it. Each animation had its own properties. For example, at which window should it be shown? So for example, if it would be a game window, it will be shown only when the game window is on, or for example in menu or in splash screen. It also had some properties, like for example if the animation is flipped, or if it is looping, or so on. The reason why I did it like so was that my idea was to just call this and add an animation whenever I wanted, and whatever animation I would like to add. And that will be it. It will solve everything for me. However, unfortunately, it showed like really problem. So I must say that I do not remember a lot what I showed you in previous videos, and I don't want to check it now. So I will just go through all. Well, but just briefly, don't be afraid. So why to have an animation in this animation structure somewhere else and call it externally? Then everything was pretty much alright, but if you imagine that we have two players which we want, really player 1 and player 2. So each player will have its own keys, and for each player there will be drawn the specified animation. I solved also this. It was done by adding here a player, it's not here maybe, but yeah, here. Public players.player related to. Please note, please don't write any code into your, if you are writing a code, don't write anything yet, alright? I will tell you when you should write the code, because now I'm just, yeah, you will realize soon. So here was the player related to, and my idea was really to check the ID whether the animation is really related to the player or to the other player, and then it will be drawn. However, this was really stupid, and it pretty much worked, but then there were errors as the code got more complex and so on. So I decided to do a major change, which was adding everything to the player object. So you see that here I'm in the player. This animation and animator and animation controller is not used. It is not used. It's used only for the splash screen animation and not for the player animation. Not any of them. It will contain just all other animations. So when I move to the player object, player class here, you see that here is a animation struct. Now you may write your code. So I create here a object reference to animation struct, which is here the structure, because this is pretty much a class player, and the player manager, player manager here contains the list of players or the array. So in order to access this, I will have to go through the object reference. So here you see there is a textures, that's the list of textures, current frame index and sprite index is animating, non-iterable animation, and so on. Then here is update method. The update method pretty much updates the keyboard, which you should have in your code, but it also updates the update animation here. Let's have a look to the code. It's a void, the method that is just added to this player class. So go to definition. The update animation, well, what it does, nothing really different. It just changes the sprites of the index of the sprite we should draw, and that will be later on drawn in the draw method. It just chooses here the index, which is in the animation struct. So the update animation void method just changes the properties of the update animation of the animation struct. So it's according to really the state, I guess, or not. No, sorry. It just really increases the index, whether it is animating backward or if it is at the end, at the last frame. If it is looped, then it will start from the beginning, and so on and so on. So nothing really miraculous. And please notice one more thing here. When it is normal here and it ends, I call animation ended, as well as here if it is reversed. You might realize that here is a new type here in the enum, looped. That means that the animation goes from the index 0 to maximum index, and then to index 0 again and repeats. The normal state is just that it goes from the 0 index to maximum index and then it ends. The forward backward one, so the looped one is just infinite until we change the animation to something else, which is, for example, the normal stance, by the way. The forward backward. This animation type is pretty much that it goes from the 0 index to the maximum index, and then it goes from the maximum index to the 0 index, and then it pretty much continues. And when it is reversed, then it goes from the last index to the beginning index, and then it ends. So that's it. And now, just because there is a lot of code, I'm sorry I can't go through all of the code, but I will try to. Now just have a look back to the update method. Alright, I will find it here in the bunch of code. Here. So it updates the keyboard, updates the animation, and updates rectangle. So there is one really important thing. Here is the state: public, player manager, player state, and previous state. I will explain that in a second. So let me just go to a method I want. Here is a change player state, and here is a new state, and bool is changing to combo, and int last frame index, that is -1 by default. What is it? The change player state changes the player animation to animation you pretty much set. It accords to the player state. The player state might be a normal state, or kick high, kick low, kick punch, whatever, uppercut, hook, and so on. So the non-interruptible animation, why is it here? This is just because imagine that we don't want some animations to be interrupted. Let's say that when we are not touching keyboard, normal stance is playing automatically, but it may be interrupted by pressing, for example, D key, or the key that moves the hero to the right or to the left, or just punches, kicks, or whatever. So that should be interruptible animation. So to put it in other words, it will be non-interruptible animation. It will be false because it may be interrupted. However, some animations should not be interrupted. For example, when the hero is punching, then when he is in the middle of the punching animation, we should not change the state to something else, for example kicking or something like that. Of course, maybe the combos, but I will talk about that later. That's a chapter for itself. So that's it. So if there is a non-interruptible animation, then it's gonna return. Or if it is changing to combo, and if it is not changing to combo. Imagine a situation that we will be punching, but we will press the key a few more times, so there will be combo from the punching. So we should be able to change it. That's why the changing to combo is here. So we might be able to change the stance from, for example, punching to more detailed punching, I mean more frames. But yeah, it's only when the combo is raised. Now there is a crouch. That's just, let's say, I will maybe get back to it, but I don't want to talk about it now. It's not really the crouch. There is still an error because it doesn't show the animation really correctly every single time, and I have to figure it out. I have no idea yet. You will see it in future when there will be a presentation of the application. So here etc shits, and here shits also. Damage I will talk about that later. So previous state is the state, and state is a new state. That just backups the previous state, and I will tell you in seconds why. So here nSprite index is set to the animation struct, and we go to check for state. Check for state is really vital method. So first we check for the direction, because we might do it every single time. It doesn't really matter when the animation will be taking place or not. So every single time just check for the direction, and if the direction will be left, we will flip the picture, because all the frames are facing to right side, so else the flip vertical will be false. So now if state equals previous state, so now this was pretty much the problem. Imagine imagine a situation that we are not touching a keyboard. Then the keyboard input is really looping through. It's really looping through the update void in milliseconds, really fast, maybe 1,000 times per millisecond. And it every single time realizes that the state should be none, because we are not giving any input. But what would this result in? It would just go and change the state to none, which will result in starting from 0 index of the animation every single time. So it will be freezed at first index, and it will be lagging, because it will be every single time setting it from the beginning index, which is not what we want. So if the state is same and we are not really changing the state, there is no reason for going further, except one thing. For example, the walk. When we are walking and when we still press the key for the walk, we want just to change the location and not really start the animation from the beginning anymore. It will be started only when the state is really changed. So now when the state is different, then it will proceed, otherwise it will return. So now, to make it more understandable, let's say that we have a state kicking, and the kicking animation ends, and then it realizes that the user no longer presses any keys, so it goes to normal state. So now it realizes that the previous state was kicking, but the state is a normal stance or something like that. So it proceeds because it wants to change the textures and so on. So now it sets some default animation things, because I should really set this in every single case here, which is not what I want. So those are some default values that will be later on changed according to the animation. So you see here I switch the state to realize what animation is gonna take place. And now comes the torturing, because I have to define every single animation. So for example, for the state none, we will start from the beginning index. So current frame index will be 0. This is important, because as the animation is that's just you know, to avoid any bugs and errors, it's just better to have it there. Then we change the textures, that's alright, and the animation type will be the forward backward. That really depends on the case. When there is a walk, the index, and so on. So you see all of these pretty much here. I will be explaining this more in detail. We've got here player state punch from stand, which will start from the index 0, and it will be non-interruptible animation. The textures will be set, and the nSprite index is set to 3. Now, to not confuse you, I will show you the... Oh god, not this. Sorry. I will show you the sprites to better imagine what the hell is going on here. So content, pictures, and so on, etc, etc. So that's punches and from stand. Well, oh god, sorry. I mean the compiled stuff. What the hell? Yeah, bin and debug resources. Yeah, that was it. Characters Sub-Zero and punch. So from stand. So let's say that here are the frames. You see them? So I will start it from the first frame. So let's say that when I press the Q once, it should play this from this to this, and then it will go back to this frame. And when I press the Q twice, it will continue doing this animation. And when I press the just to this state, sorry. When I press the Q 3 times, it continues to this state. And when I press the Q 4 times, it continues to last punch. And then it returns, because the animation really ends. So I have here the entire array, but what I'm doing, I'm just setting the last frame that it's gonna end at. Which is what I'm doing here. You see, when the normal punch from the stand is raised, then it's gonna end at index 3. When it's combo 2, that means that 2 keys, I mean 2, what the hell, how to explain that? Hopefully you understand that. So that I press the, for example, Q key twice, so it's gonna go to a combo 2, really, because this is considered, well, never mind, that's just the name. So it's gonna end at the 6 in sprite, now here at the 9, and lastly at the -1, which tells us that it's all the frames are gonna be played. So this is pretty much it. It's all in these, and yes, so this is it. Well, another thing was solving the damage. So you notice that here is animation ended. It checks for damage infliction, but first I will explain this. Pretty much we want to clear the keychain, but we have to define when. So pretty much at all of these cases, so when punch from stand combo 2, and so on. So let's say the punch from stand is gonna be played, and when it ends, user has no pretty much chance to make the combo 2, because it already ends and he starts from the beginning, so it clears the keychain. However, when for example a normal stance animation ends, and if we would clear the keychain, we would screw up the possible combo that user is really, well, making, and so on. Hopefully you understand that. So delete the keychain only when the well, combat animation is ended. So unfortunately this is really important, so really to define that. Then user input refused is false. This is pretty much new variable. This is just whether the user input is refused. Let's say that when user takes a hit, then the hit animation is played, and he might not be able to control the player for a while. So when the animation ends, then the user input refused is set to false. Animation struct.non-interruptible animation false, alright, and then it changes the player state to player state none. So pretty much whenever any animation ends, then it's gonna go to normal stance. That's it. Now I promised you to go to check for damage infliction. I have to find it. Nice, here. So here it goes to check for damage infliction. For this purpose, I had to create a rectangles of the players and check whether they intersect. But if they intersected, I want to deal in damage by the one animation, by the way, by the animation that ended at the moment. Only once. That's why here is the damage inflicted by current state is here. Because I will set it at the end here to true. So this code will run only once when the animation ends. Otherwise, as I've told you, the methods are called incredibly fast, so it might go through all of these multiple times, maybe 100 times, until the animation changes to something else. So this is really important, so it goes only once. So that's it. I've got here in functions function getSecondPlayer. I will parse the function a player, which is this player, and it returns me an object of the player 2, the second player. So I may change its variables. So I've got the player 2. It's really easy, you can write it in your own, I mean. So yeah, just to, I will make here a break, so when I get back to it, I'll go to definition just to show you. It's easy. If the player.id equals the player manager player 0 id, then it's gonna return the player 1 and else the player 0, really. So if the first player is the 0, then it's gonna return the 1 and so on. Easy as hell. But it makes it really easier. So check for intersect. If player rectangle, if it doesn't intersect the player through rectangle, it returns. Else it intersects and the code code continues. So if the player is not defending himself and he is not in crouch, please note that this is absolutely not finished yet. There might be some conditions for kicks that are low, so they damage the player even when he's in crouch stance. For kicks that are high, so they might be avoided by the crouch stance and so on. So this is just a, yeah, not really done at the moment. So here is just our switch we like, and we just change the health. We for example, when punch from stand, it's gonna be -3. Well, please notice that maximum health is 100. It may be changed in future, but yeah. Combo 2 is gonna take 6, combo 3 9. There is not combo 4. Wow, interesting. Well, are you serious? I really forgot it. Wow. So combo 4, yeah, it's gonna take 3 6 9, so let's say 12. So it's gonna be pretty cool, I think. Kick from stand basic, that's gonna take this, and kick from stand. Yeah, now please imagine that when I should show you the animation first to understand this. So it is a kick from stand basic, so we go to kicks and from stand, and it's basic. No, round 1, sorry, round 1 kick. So you see it's this animation, that pretty much, yeah. And when he kicks, when he hits the player 2, then we are gonna change the player 2 state to player manager player state fall to floor and kick up, which I might show you. It's here in a sub-zero damage taken, fall to floor, well, fall to floor. I think it's this one, really. Yeah, so you see he kicks back up, so he falls and kicks back up. So we just easily change the state. There is nothing hard. Yeah, there might be a problem because it won't change the state if the player would be punching, but that might be done later on. So, and now I will have to explain you the input, because the input was modified as well, and this was quite tricky problem. I solved it, but it was really tricky, so just have a look at it. We go to the keyboard and we go to, yeah, load combo. Yeah, please notice that when I load the combo, well, this is not important, just never mind that. Sort combos by change length, this is useless method. It is not important anymore, really, those two, so don't be really afraid. So we go to update, there are some basic animations, and then it goes to check for combos. Go to definition. So you see that at the end it is not calling perform combo anymore. Why? This is just really simple, because all we have to do is to change the player state to the animation type that is in the list. But here was quite more interesting problem. I've got here in the text file. So imagine that the user input accepts 4 keys, alright? Is an array of 4 keys. If there might be new key, the first key is deleted and the new key is added behind that. But let's say that we have here in combos combo E, 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 alright? The user input might be X, E, 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 or E, 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 X, where X is any really key, any key at all. So I in past used if it contains, but just have a look at it. If we would use if the this contains this combo, it would return true and the combo will be played. That's alright. But imagine a situation that we have a combo E, E, which is really in the array. And when it will loop, it will be looping every single time. It loops over and over. And it will get back to this combo. And because this string contains the EE as well, then wrong animation will be played. And then it goes back and realizes that it is a disk animation and it plays it. So it will be really freezed between two animations. It will be just screwed up. And this was problem I had, and it was really tricky. I had to write it on a paper to realize how to solve it. However, I managed, fortunately, because I really was not sure how to solve it, and that's quite a problem, because I every single time have an idea. It is a bad idea usually, or good idea. Maybe it works, maybe not, but now I had no idea. Anyways, I solved it. So now to the solution. So how to solve this? We will have those two strings and we will check for number of keys that are matching. So let's say he goes, let's say we have only this input, okay? Oh fuck, sorry. So let's say we have only input a X, E, 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 alright? So he goes through the combos, he goes to E, 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 and he checks whether it contains it. He realizes that it does contain it, and he writes that 1, 2, 3 keys were matched. 3 keys matched. Then he goes in the loop just to the next item, and there is a EE. So he again checks whether this contains the EE. He realizes that it does contain it, but we already have match of 3 keys, but here are only 2 keys. So we are looking for the best match, so he just doesn't mind it. And that's it. That's the system. It works. So you see I've got here combo list struct, most suitable struct, and the int number of key match is -1 by default. So here it goes if it matches, and if the number of key match is smaller than the combo list string dot length, pretty much the length, well, the keys really, EEE, it will be 3, or 3 keys, no, yeah. Then we have the better match, because it has more keys than we have here in the number of key match. So he write the match to the variable, but we also have to write somewhere the structure. So to the most suitable struct, the S. and then it goes back, and so on. Those are not important here, but I just use that to catch the event, you know, for the debugging. This is not really important. You may, yeah, shouldn't, don't really have to be there. And after the whole loop ends, if the number of key match not equals -1, so if something at least is found, just not to have a error, because if I would parse here -1, it would be really big problem. So if we found something, we will just parse their most suitable animation struct dot animation type to change player state, then the struct is combo and most suitable struct dot last frame index, and that's it. Yeah, just easy. This is just backup of the method because I was not sure whether it will work, so I made a backup, but now I know it works, so that's it. So now this is pretty much everything from the system, and now I will move to a graphics, which will be, I think, more interesting for you, and then I will go to the presentation. Actually, I will move to the presentation now, and I will continue talking about the graphics and yeah, so on. Oh, sorry, I really have to tell you the system of the characters. So you know that I had here in characters Sub-Zero, yes, and it pretty much contained all those, but what I want to do is to make an array of the characters, and each item will have its different textures, and it will be pretty much different character. So that's why those structures are here, but here are the public texture struct textures, so I might be able to access it via the object reference. So no static items anymore here. Now I've got here a oh, I have to find it in player manager. Wow, really? Well, give me a second. I have to find it's in a chooser. Yeah, character selection here. So I added a new class, nothing really hard, and here is a character selection, here is a enum character names, and here is a array of the characters. That is a array of those classes I have showed you, and here is a public static void player choose character, player by reference, and the character he chose. Then we are gonna just get the character by name. It gets the entire class and it puts it to player.character. This is new variable in the player, and it pretty much goes to textures here in this. So that's it. So now to a I have to find that. Alright, so I should go through the loading method to show you how it works. I modified this as well. I close the combos, close the textures, arenas. That's for loading arena. That's really easy. Loading menu. That's for loading background for the menu, icon, and so on. Just pictures. I will talk about that later in GUI. And what the hell? I can't find it. Can't find it. And can't pronounce it. Oh, load character animation. Yeah, here. And no, sorry. Here is it. Nice. Load character. Here, content, ref, the character list. Pretty much. We want to add it to, because the character will be added to a list. And all we have to do is to resize the array and create a new item and start putting the stuff there. So dot character name. So what I'm doing here, just loading the textures there. And here is the character name folder, which is here. So all I have to do is to change the name of the folder here. You might realize that here in content I have here characters. When I open it up, here is a Kung Lao and Sub-Zero. They have just exactly same structure of folders and animations in it, and it just goes to different folder and it loads all the textures. So that's it, really easy. But because I don't have all textures yet, I just commented it. So it loads the character and it is held in array. But now have a look at the menu, main menu. So now I will show you the application. The splash screen is pretty much laggy. It is lagging, really. It's because I don't have enough frames. Yes, if someone would like to make the frames for me, you might send it, whatever you want. So when I press the start button, it gets me to a menu. It's nothing else, it just goes to a menu, class, and it calls the update and the draw. It just draws a texture like a background, then it draws this one like a panel, and then it draws the, well, this black guy picture like here, like an array, and it draws, this is for player 2 and this is for player 1. So I might be able to click on a Sub-Zero here and on a Sub-Zero here, so both players will have Sub-Zero, really. So that's it. Yeah, then we click on a fight and it gets us to the game. You see that now the animations are really smooth. Yeah, I must assure you, it's maybe lagging because of the, you know, the Hypercam 3. So you see there is it is moving pretty much. You see the combos are working, really. And I will try to get him down, hopefully. Well, it doesn't work yet, so yes, it's not definitely done yet. You see the combo now. Now the normal kick, it really damages him really a lot. Yeah, so that's it. Really interesting. So you see that there is a background. I don't have a cursor here, so the background, it's just a picture, but it will be animated later on. But really I have to make the system of the fight yet. Well, now. Then we've got here the health bars. That was pain in ass, really. Drawing it was really terrible. I don't know whether to explain that, because that would take me like half an hour to explain. But if you are watching this, if you like this, just comment the video or send me a message or write something on our Facebook page for the C# and XNA programming. Write there that you want to explain, what you want to explain, and I will make the video. You see that here is a icon of the head, really. This is not done yet, but this is it. It pretty much works. And yeah, so it does. It also goes to the crouch. Here you see the problem that it quite flakes when he goes to the crouch. It's not really smooth. So yeah, there is a lot of work to do, but it pretty much works. Now to have a look to the menu, I will show you the pictures to easily understand how I did it. Just nothing else, just playing with pictures. You see here is the character unknown picture. Here is a background picture. I had to make it in Photoshop somewhere. Here is a background of the button. Here is the really the panel. And if I run the application, you see that there is there is something wrong in the background. You see that it is not really nice. There is that's because it draws this, and over it draws its own images here. So I have to do some work in Photoshop and delete all of those and make there some transparent nice background. For example, the orange background fading to black would be nice, and then just implement it to the game. So now you see it draws those pictures. That's nothing really hard again, because here in the resources custom, each character, for example the Sub-Zero, has a folder here, GUI, where is the fight versus picture, which is the one that is shown here. It's just flipped here, and its own character icon that is shown here in the menu, and its own life icon that is shown in the game. So yes, that's it. Well, there is just button. The button is done by making here a button manager that has inside a class button. When I want to make a button, I just call a create button. I put here X, Y, texture, then the texture when it is selected, then the width, if it's not set, it's the width of the texture, the height of the texture as well. Click delegate, hover delegate. It just raises the event back when, well, it gives you callback when the mouse is hovering the button or when it is a clicked. So that's just changing then the state. I will go to a menu again when I find it here, and you see that I will show you the callback for this. Yeah, here, start game button, click. Nothing really hard. Here I just had to check whether both players have chosen their character, and this is quite tricky because I really can't go to a character. Well, yeah, I really have to check. This is quite stupid, I know, but obviously when the versus texture would be null, then it's not drawn and user didn't select anything, as well as here player 2. Then the player choose character, then the class according to a class of the character of the hero is put to the player, and he uses just the animations and maybe its sound specialties and so on. We will talk about that later. So here, set max health. This is quite important as well, because when we would go from the game back to the menu and then we would play again, we should set it to a starting position, to the maximum health, and then we just change the current window and everything is done, because we are just checking at the update for the window as well as in all other classes, so it just automatically starts drawing the really game. Then the mouse is really easy, nothing really hard. It's just drawing the picture on the mouse position, so really nothing hard. You might notice that when I click here, you see the texture changes. Nothing hard again. It's just something like flourish. I know that. I like it. Yeah, really making a menu or the splash screen or the menu and the graphics user interface nice and amazing. The more amazing it is, the more players will be attracted to it, because they will see it, they will like it. If you would have shitty menu with some shitty button with gray background, and even if it would be good game, no one would really play that. So yeah, so you see that when I select the Sub-Zero, it shows, I don't know whether you see that, but the background of the Sub-Zero is changed to some gray, something. So it's just yeah, I can't select those that don't have any hero in it. it's done again in the code. Well, because of the time, I can't really explain you everything. It would be really for 50 videos to explain everything I did. Really explaining that really takes a lot of time. So yes, I'm sorry, but just the basics. So here is the fight button. That might be, it's not here in the button because I want this to be drawn. So that's it, and when I now press fight, it goes place the animations. The animations are outdated. They are from Mortal Kombat 3, but if you have better animations or someone would make them, send it to me. I will put your name in credits. The game will be free to play in future, so yeah, I would really like to get the animations, some really nice animations, because this is really, it works, but it's not really amazing. So yeah, this is pretty much everything I wanted to tell you. And yes, so later, about the later videos, I don't really know whether I will make some, because really I'm writing the code faster and more efficient when I'm not talking when doing it, and honestly, to explain you everything, it would take hell a lot of time, hell a lot of yeah, videos. So yes, please, when you want, if you want to know something, explain some how is something done, then please just write it in a comment or go to our Facebook page in the description. Go to the Facebook page, join it, or just write there that you would like to know something. The Facebook page is for all programmers or people that want to learn programming. If you have any other problem with some project, ask there. I will try to explain that if I would have the knowledge. If not, really, I'm sure that other users would give you some advices. And yes, if you like those videos, and if you really like it, please subscribe, comment, like the video. It doesn't take long, and it makes me really happy, and yeah, to produce more videos, because if I don't see that the videos are really good, like people watch them, like them, comment them, maybe subscribe to my channel, there is no motivation for making more and more videos. So yes, and also, if someone would have some sprites for characters for the Mortal Kombat, I mean the newer one, if someone would, for example, play with the Photoshop, cut it off from the Mortal Kombat 9, yeah, really do it. Just make all the sprites. That would be really best, and send it to me. I hardly doubt someone would do it, but maybe someone has it. Someone found some sprites that I didn't. So yes, that's it, and yes, see you next time.